What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. This is the 53rd episode, so we are now one episode into the new revolving year for Vette Syndicate, Corvette Weekly, Horsepower Obsessed, Protective Dad Pranks, and Front Seat Driver. We are all in the house today. We have a giveaway to continue tonight. We also have a lot of information to talk about tonight. Before we do, though, I want to congratulate Larry Anthony. He's in the chat because his Z06 is scheduled to be on the assembly line next week. So, yeah,
Congrats.
some of us are lucky enough to get a Z06. This guy is coming next freaking week. How awesome is that? And that's got to be exciting. It's got to be a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's Garage says Jason's t-shirt's awesome. It's the first thing I said to him as soon as he came on the live feed.
Exactly.
Matt Hurley says happy year too. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
We're happy to have all you guys here again. Thank you all for tuning in. We get a lot of you guys tuning in weekly, and that's really, really awesome. Steven Risho, what's up, man? Yeah, very, very awesome to have all you guys here. This is a fresh year for Corvette Weekly, and it feels good. Feels good to be here. We have a lot to talk about tonight, like I said. If you guys haven't heard, the first ERAY came down, Barrett Jackson, and it sold for a ridiculous amount of money. We're going to talk all about this here very soon. But we're gonna kind of say our hellos first here, get that out of the way, because we're gonna kind of run something a little bit different. So anybody who watches this after the fact, after it's not live anymore, can see a recap of all the information we talked about at the very end. So if you join into the Corvette Weekly halfway through and you come in and you say, "Hey, I'm late. What did I miss?" You can see all of it again at the very end of the show. So we're going to recap everything for those at the end. That way, people coming in and don't want to see all of the banter and everything, they don't have to sit through this. They'll just get it right at the very end of the show and move on about their day. So, yeah, first super chat of the day comes from Stephen Rapp, of course. What's up, Stephen? Thanks for tuning in. He donates $19.99, so he's going to get 2 more entries for the AMT Custom Designs door sills, which Steve's going to show us right now. Are the sound effects included when they win? Oh my God, this guy is too much. So guys, custom painted carbon flash black with torch red accents. Yeah, these could be yours. Every $10 donation counts, and we do prefer Venmo, which is linked up at the top of this chat. But if you can't do that, super chats do count as well.
Awesome.
Paul LaMonaco says check Instagram. Well, that's a first. Let me check Instagram, see what's going on.
Like Instagram or Venmo?
Well, I checked Venmo just for giggles, and there was nothing there, so he meant Instagram.
Cool.
I don't see anything on my Instagram, or did you mean?
He meant Vette Syndicate.
Okay. I don't know if I can check that on my computer.
What did we do wrong? Oh, he always probably sent something.
Yeah, he was sending me something.
Oh, he's probably talking to Jason.
Yeah. Believe so.
That's what he means.
Yeah.
11-second Eclipse says your sound effects are great, Steve.
There you go.
Yeah, Darren Burnett says, congrats, Larry. You're going to have to plan for extra time when you drive it. I took mine out today for a 30-minute drive and was gone for 3 hours. Yeah, everybody's going to stop and talk to you about that car for sure. So totally understand that one.
What color is he getting?
I know what color he's getting. Larry, do you want to share that with the world?
Yes, please, Larry, share it.
He's still in break-in. All right, so what we're going to do here, guys, Jason, me, and Steve, we all kind of divvied up some information we're going to talk about here, so it's not just one person talking the entire time. We're going to try to get some of the other personalities involved. Larry Anthony, he meant to say carbon flash. So the carbon flash color Z06 is what he got.
Nice. Ooh, gosh, I love that color.
Yeah, it is an awesome color.
Great color.
70th anniversary.
Mhm.
He got an awesome spec. And Matt Hurley, we're going to talk about you and your car here in a second as well, because you know why. But his car is technically famous now, which is pretty cool. So guys, Shane's in the house. What's up, Shane? We're going to talk about how awesome you are too, Shane. I know you had mentioned that. But 35 thumbs ups currently. We could definitely use some more thumbs ups. It really helps the channel, guys. It helps us grow. It helps the entire Corvette community here that we're sharing with every week. It helps it all grow. So a thumbs up, it's like planting a tree seed. You know, we want more trees on the planet. You hit the thumbs up, it's something similar. I can't guarantee that any trees are going to grow from it, though. So anyway, Steve, do you want to take us away on the
Did you happen
information?
did you happen to watch it this weekend? Because it was pretty interesting to see this. You know, I was watching it, and I think 2020 Matrix. Yeah, it was 2020 Matrix. Jeremy sent me the link over. I was watching it, and it was interesting. So this thing sold for $1.1 million, and ironically, Rick Hendrick bought it again. But the cool part was that it actually all went to charity for this Donors Choose organization that helps fund schools for low-income neighborhoods. But the real interesting, if you go out there and Google this, so afterwards I went out and found some videos. There's some videos out there. There's actually people booing this car. I don't know if it's because it's a hybrid or anything, but if you go and look at it, you'll hear audible boos when they bring this car out. So it was interesting to hear that.
Yeah, so guys, if you didn't get to see it, it actually happened down in West Palm Beach, I'm pretty sure, in Florida. I almost went to it. And it was interesting because, yeah, 1.1 million. And I know 11-second eclipse, I said the same thing, but you got to realize, he says, is that it? This is the world we live in nowadays, where 1.1 million for a Corvette's not that much at a freaking auction. But yeah, there was people who you could hear audibly booing as Taj was talking about the powertrain of the car. So he was talking about the 6.2 liter engine, no boos. Then he starts talking about the hybrid aspect of it, and people were booing. And I think that's weird, because I've never heard someone boo a car that was being basically donated through charity. Like when the Z06 went through there, I didn't hear any boos. When the original C8 went through there, I didn't hear any boos. It is definitely strange. People, they're not loving the idea of we've talked about this before. Hybrid is where I would be okay with. Yeah. I'm okay with a hybrid.
People, have you noticed that these people are getting fed up in this country on anything that's shoved down your throat or anything that coming? I think that might be it. It's like, I love hybrid, believe me. I think if all our energy and our assets should be going to make hybrid vehicles, have the best of both worlds, but don't go straight EV. And I think people are getting pretty tired on other social issues as well. Not going to get into politics tonight. But
not tonight. My finger's on the trigger. You start talking about, I'm going to dump you right off. Joe M says, how much did the Z06 get? It was 3.6 million. So the difference is significant. Now, obviously, that was. I don't think that was for charity, though. I can't remember. Maybe it was. But either way, the winner of both of them is the same guy. He typically takes the VIN number 01 and puts it in his garage, and that's where it's going to stay. So at some point, I won't say him, but at some point, his family will get the money back out of these things, because they're going to be sitting there with basically no miles on them, and they're going to be worth a ridiculous amount of money at some point. Yeah. Wheeler, I heard that too, to be honest with you. When Dodge first brought out the what are they calling that? The Daytona, I think it is. It was the Challenger replacement. I don't think it was called a Banshee, but it was the Challenger replacement that had the audible speakers making the exhaust sound. There were people booing that too. They just like Steve said, it's just, we're not ready for that to be the replacement yet. Can it exist? Can it coexist? Absolutely. But can it replace? No. We're not ready for that as a replacement. Especially not whenever it's more so being pushed on us instead of offered to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for charity as well. Okay, I thought it might be. So somebody got a really nice charity check for the Z06, 3.6 million. That's pretty impressive. Now the ERAY coming out at 1.1 sounds like it's weak, but in reality, that's still a lot of freaking money for charity. 1.1 million. But out of the whole thing, like I said, it was most interesting to me that people were booing this thing, because I wouldn't boo it. I know somebody in the chat here seems to think I dislike the ERAY, but that's not the case. I think the ERAY is a really cool, awesome option for somebody. I'm glad it exists. That doesn't mean that I want it. And that's not my way of saying I don't like the car, because if I was offered one, I would take it. But
I want it mainly because I couldn't get a Z06. If I could get a Z06, then I'd be happier with the Z06. But at the same time, I have absolutely nothing against an all-wheel drive Corvette like that. I think it's going to be an awesome car. I hope everything goes well and I'm able to get it. But again, like Steve said, it goes back. The only issue I have with electric, and I've always had, is, again, we're being forced to do something against our will. You know what I mean? And that irritates me. That's why we left England.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting, to touch back when we talked last week, and this is a little bit backtracking some news. So we talked about last week that the 2024 may be the last year of the Z06. So then this week, when I was getting my AW touring exhaust installed, I talked to Keith at Corvette World, who just got done at a conference or something with mechanics for GM, and that rumor's all over the place. They're hearing it as well, that the 2024 is the final year, and it may not even go the full year of production. So
now,
good luck.
what's really funny about that, though, guys, is that if that ends up being the case, you heard that here first. We've been talking about that for at least the last year. Literally one of the first episodes of the Corvette Weekly, when it was still just me. It was Jason and Steve hadn't even signed on yet. We were talking about the fact that the Z06 may be a limited production car because of some of the EPA rumor issues that the thing is having. And now we're starting to hear that from more credible sources saying the same kind of thing, that this thing is going to be a very short run.
Yep.
I personally hope that that's not the case, because I would like to actually get one of these things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, based on how often I'm hearing it and from the sources I'm hearing it from, it sounds like it's going to happen. The ERAY is going to replace the Z06.
Yeah, here's my guess. The ZORA or ZR1 is going to be the same engine with hybrid. I think that's what's going to be the same engine of the Z06 with hybrid. They're going to use it, and that's going to be done with it. And I think it's going to come sooner than we think. Because
that could be the case, but there's two arguments against that. So the first one is, if the Z06 doesn't last the entire run of 24, or if they cut it short in any way, it's because of potential EPA issues I've been hearing. And if that's the case, they're not going to want to use that engine in anything moving forward unless they seriously detune it, which is possible. But then we run into another argument where Chevy was very, very adamant about the fact that this engine was not going to be in another car. It was the Z06, that's it. They were very adamant about that. So I don't know that this engine is ever going to see another car. Now, we had talked about the ZR1 possibly being just the Z06 engine with a hybrid front drive system like out of the ERAY. Then it has the additional, 800 horsepower or whatever it's going to possibly be. That would be the easy way out for GM, to just use an engine they already have and a battery powered thing they already have and call it a different kind of car. But I don't know that that's necessarily what's going to happen here because of the potential issues they're having with the EPA in this engine.
Yeah. You know what would be you think about the ZR1 or ZORA, going to a full electric. Think about this. Let's say they go full electric on this car, and it's 1,000 horsepower. And then you build the C9 and it's fully electric, but obviously the C9 is not going to have this much power. So then you're going to go back down in power and kind of build back up to a ZORA ZR1 for the C9. So that'd be kind of weird to have all that power, then drop back down and go right back up. So it almost makes sense to wait for the electric for the C9, fully electric C9, and then increase it for then.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that they do that every single generation because the ZR1 had 755 horsepower. Then it dropped down to the C8, back down to 495.
True.
And now the C8 Z06 is still not at 755 horsepower. It's, 670. So it's always like that. It drops down and then it builds up a little further. Then it drops down and then it builds up a little further than the previous generation. It always does that. So I could see the ZORA being 1,000 horsepower, especially if they do an all-electric version of it. It could pretty easily hit 1,000 horsepower if it's all electric. But then I think it's a weirder thing is that it would go from the ZORA being all electric at 1,000 horsepower, dropping down to the C9 Stingray or C9 base, and having it be gas powered. That's weirder to me than a difference in horsepower because that's more to be expected.
Well, it's funny. I'm sitting here. I'm very anti-electric vehicle. Very anti-electric vehicle. But as you say, 1,000 horsepower, and I'm thinking, if I could get 1,000 horsepower ZR1 C8, would I turn it down? No. No.
That's what I'm saying about the people saying that I don't like the ERAY. If I got a call tomorrow that said, "Hey, Justin, we have an ERAY here with your name on it," I'm taking that car. And I will immediately forget about the Z06. But if I have my option, the one I want is the Z06. That does not mean I would turn down an E-Ray. Trust me, I would take that car in a heartbeat.
I still want my electric car to be a car that I drive just whenever I feel like it isn't one of my like sports cars. I just, I did get flipped a little bit driving the Ford Lightning. At least now I have some respect for electric, but I don't, like Steve said earlier, it can't be our main thing. It has to be an option. It has to run in tandem with, an ICE. I'm not that big of a fan yet.
Yeah,
until do a cold start on that thing, and it legitimately, I don't mean fake sound, legitimately sounds like a good, AWE or course or something like. I still don't care.
That sounds like a good segue, Steve.
Oh yeah. Speaking of AWE, I just got one installed.
So,
it's
guys,
so good.
Steve has an AWE exhaust freshly installed on his C8 Corvette, which is sitting behind him.
It's loud.
And we have had it in the past where we'll have him cold start that car in the garage, which is right behind him, and see how loud it is. If we have a donation from one of you guys of $100, we're gonna have Steve cold start that thing right behind him, and it will get you entered 10 times to win that AMT Custom Designs door sill.
It hasn't been started in 2 days.
So this is a super cold.
When it starts, I can yell and you can't hear me. It's crazy how loud this thing is. My wife was here the other day and we're yelling at each other. You can't hear each other. I can't get over how loud this thing is. It's like mind-blowing.
Cars always have the loudest cold starts because the car is angry when he finally starts it. It's so mad it has been.
It's because it's not a cold start. The car's literally slipped into hibernation because of how long it's been sitting there. So it's not a cold start. It's like you're angrily waking up a bear.
Exactly. I'm going to watch it and next week for our 29th car event, and it'll have been 8 months. And I haven't watched it. I've never watched the car yet. Wow. I've owned it and haven't watched it.
That means you're not driving it enough.
4 or 5 times. I watched it Sunday.
I just clean it a lot.
Yeah.
I went through an entire bottle of Expel detail spray, I'll tell you that much.
Wow. So Elrod M says, what about $500? If you want to donate $500
for $500,
we'll let it run the whole show.
Yeah, we'll if you donate $500, we will let that car run for the rest of the Corvette Weekly Monday night.
For $500, I'll cold rev that sucker, and you would.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm a definite AWE fan. I was like, it's loud. I don't know even what the touring, the track addiction. Woo.
All right, Matt Hurley did it.
No way.
Start that thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt Hurley. That's awesome.
Matt Hurley. You're gonna.
Wow. So it's
I
hard
fell
to.
off the dang chair, and I'm glad it was so noisy because I did swear.
Yeah, I was gonna say we couldn't. The only reason I could tell how loud that was is because I couldn't hear you speak. So I know that the iPhone microphone's literally adjusting that audio.
Yeah.
Oh, and now I vape the vapors.
Nice, nice. You're gonna be feeling it later.
I'm feeling it now. It's so loud.
Wheeler says your car is so loud we didn't even hear you swear.
I know. I was like,
Yeah, we can read lips though. It does sound good. The AWE exhaust system is, in my opinion, the best sounding C8 Corvette exhaust system that you can get. Now, you guys know I was one of the very first ones to have an AWE exhaust on my C8 Corvette. Actually, I was the first. And they actually built the instructions of the install in the car and everything after installing it on my car. And yeah, I was basically the R&D for this thing. And it was awesome. I enjoyed every step of it. AWE is an awesome company from top to bottom. The sound of their exhaust, the quality of their exhaust, the quality of their installs, the R&D process that they put the car through, everything was fantastic. I loved all of it. And so when these guys got their cars, I told them, reach out to AWE. Don't even mess around with any of the other exhausts. You're gonna love AWE anyway.
it literally is perfect sounding. I mean, it's loud, but I drove it. I only drove it 40 miles after, but down the highway, no drone, no check engine lights. But when you get on it, oh man. But the cold start is mind numbing. But one thing I do like about it over the other, when it's just idling, it's just
Yeah.
I love that. It has like that don't mess with me growl. But
Judy says, what? Huh? I can't hear anybody now. Oh, that's so funny. I love there's something about a cold start that literally just it takes Corvette guys and throws them, or car guys and throws them for a loop. Like this is what the electric cars are missing. It's this kind of soul is what I would call it, a soul. You don't have that same, because like what do you show off an electric car at a car show? Like you can't go buy revving it. You can't say, hey, listen to this cold start. Like what do you do? Yeah, Jet Driver said you're going to have to wash the car now.
Yeah, it probably will. Next week.
Stupid Fast Truck. Yes, that was the AWE touring exhaust system.
It's loud.
Matt Hurley says cold starts are life. That's it. And it's like, what's going to happen to that life whenever they're not around anymore?
Yeah, no.
It's not a life that I want part of. You'll have to turn up your speakers on the exterior of the car really loud so you can hear. Yeah, you can hear the Jetson sound whenever you're reversing or whatever.
Yeah, I got. If you go to Instagram, I see some comments on Instagram. I have 2 sound clips on there. First one when I first got it revving it, and it's insane. Here's what I will say. We're talking about this. So I've had the Corsa Extreme on my C7, and me and Jason were talking about this. I felt like it had I love Corsa. But I felt like for the C7, I think you need a Corsa Extreme. I think it's great. I've had a tinny noise, and I felt like the car, it couldn't produce. I mean, the car couldn't handle it, or exhaust couldn't handle the car to where it would be like overpowering this thing. I feel like it'll take the full engine and it will just roar. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I remember. Me and Tim would be standing outside talking, and you'd be revving the Corsa, and it got to a point where it was like it couldn't handle it. It didn't sound good. It went from sounding great
to it was loud to like too distorted.
Yeah.
Like this one is like a full roar, and that's only like 3,000 RPMs. You usually hear it when it's like at 5. It's nuts.
See, I don't remember my Corsa sounding like that. Maybe I just didn't rev it enough. I don't know.
Yeah. Shane says we have 70 thumbs up currently. We could use a little bit more. I would like to have some more thumbs ups if we could. This is what they look like, just so you guys know.
And this is what this looks like.
Yeah, guys, get entered to win these things. We are giving these away at the end of the show tonight. If you want to win these, and I think from AMT, I think these things are around $300. So you could potentially win these for $10, and it's going to look good on your car. It really would. I had it
And
set on mine.
this is literally a one of one. This doesn't exist anywhere else. They did a special for us. We're testing this one, and they don't have authorization to do this. So this will be the only one out there. You won't be able to find this anywhere.
Hey, and listen, I can say from experience, AMT, really, really good stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I have been like, I love ACS composite. And to me, there's not a lot of companies that I feel as good about as I do ACS, man. AMT, absolutely love them. Their products are high quality.
They really are. And that's the thing is, the reason AMT can keep their quality so high and so in check is because, as far as I know, there's only one person doing the work. And the guy that does the work is super passionate about it. So you're not going to get a scratched up piece of garbage. You're going to get something that has been polished to perfection. And I look, every time I get a part from AMT Custom Designs, I will look at it under every possible light to try to find one scratch. And I never can. It literally is perfectly polished by the time I get it.
Yeah, and so, you know, I put the tonneau covers on, and it matches so perfectly to the carbon flash paint. I could, like, it almost is invisible other than the little, you know, gray decorative lines it has on it is the only way you can see it, and of course my logo, but it is impeccable.
Yeah, I agree. There was a question that came in here I wanted to answer. First off, Black Rose Z06 says, Steve, no ninja sounds? Come on, man. I thought you were better than that.
Well, it's coming. I don't know. I feel like all three of us had like caffeine tonight. It's weird. This show is like very light.
Dude.
Hey, that's a good thing.
Water,
I mean,
that's a good thing. Steven Risha says, Steve, don't you wish it was louder in the cabin like it used to be in the C7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
it's soundproofed really well.
It is. It's not just that it's soundproofed.
I hear it.
It's not just that it's soundproofed. None of the exhaust runs underneath the cabin the way it did in the C7. Everything is behind you. So it's almost impossible to have that same sound in the cabin.
Yeah.
But
there was a...
jumped into my Z06 a few times recently. It's just like,
yeah,
the love. I just can't. It doesn't compare.
Yeah, and honestly, Jason, I wanted to see if you would have that same feeling, because I know I did.
You did.
Where
yeah.
the C8 is an amazing car, and you fall in love with it so quickly, and it's not until you decide to get out of it and jump in your C7 that you realize they are two totally different animals.
100%.
The cars are completely different from each other.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that one's better than the other. It's just that they're just different. And they both can be hugely appreciated and a bunch of fun, but in totally different ways.
Right.
There was a question.
Yeah, that's where we kind of differ. Like you all miss it. I do not miss my Stingray, but I had a Stingray. I went from a Stingray to a Stingray. So and I went from a 1LT to a 2LT. You're talking big difference.
Yeah.
Between these two cars. I wouldn't even think of owning a 1LT C8 because I like the safety features.
Yeah. BPM Motorsport Channel donates $10, so he gets an entry to win those AMT.
And I got Dune on there too. Dune Run.
Okay. He says, I'm just dropping by to say hi. Thanks for the videos. You're very welcome, BPM. We appreciate you having you on here. We see you every time you come in. It's awesome to interact with all of you guys. But thanks for the donation. You'll get an entry to win those custom door sills. Eric says, Justin, looking for your opinion. The Z07 package not being available is the only thing holding me back from submitting my order. Would you wait it out until the Z07 becomes available? Or are you not hopeful manufacturing will even produce more and just go? Eric, I'm going to give you a two-step answer to your question. Normally I would say don't worry about the Z07 and just take the car. But it really depends on what you want. Because like if it was me, I make my living on these things, I would take that car in a heartbeat however I could get it. Especially if it's at MSRP. If it's just for you and you want something very specific and you don't really want to teeter on any options, you want everything, I would consider waiting. But with that said, there is a chance that this car is going to be a very limited production. so you might not ever get one. That's kind of my long way of saying I would just take it.
Mm-hmm.
Dune Run donates $19.99. I know you already said you got him, Steve, but that gets him 2 entries for the AMT custom designs. Thank you, Dune. General Lee, we could always use another cold start of that Z06. So if you want to film one for next week's, that goes for you too, Matt Hurley and BPR Z06 if you're in here. And maybe Larry Anthony by then, if you got a Z06 coming, you send us a cold start of that thing. Let's make this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, BPR Z06. Well, I'm going to talk to you about Matt Hurley's famous car here in a second. So you guys already have seen Matt Hurley's car a couple times. He has a beautiful Z06, and everything he does to it somehow makes it even more gorgeous. I don't even understand it. He's got like the golden touch, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I came across an article the other day, and it didn't hit me until like 10 minutes ago that I realized that this article is talking about the Z06 versus a Ferrari 812 Superfast, and about how the Z06 is almost as fast as that Superfast. And it wasn't until I saw that thumbnail that I was like, wait a second. That's Matt Hurley's car. And then it clicked in my head. I remember him and I had a conversation about this. Drag Times used his car on the track, on a drag strip, to put it up against an 812 Superfast. Now, as the name implies, the 812 Superfast is pretty super fast. And now we have actual drag strip times here. You can see them on the screen here. This is from the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. It's what, 0.3 of a second slower than Superfast down the drag strip, which is really, really incredible when you think about it, because the Z06 especially is not built for the drag strip. So the fact that it can put down numbers like this still, and it's doing it at a slightly higher top speed than the Superfast is, which is the whole thing is just really crazy. We have a car that's not even built for the drag strip that's tearing up the drag strip, and we have one of our own that owns the dang thing.
Yeah. But man,
Colin is in here for the first time in a year to actually watch it live. That's awesome, Colin. Welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here. Even if you watch after the fact, that's okay too. We appreciate you either way. So, all right, Matt, maybe I'm reading these times wrong then. Is yours the one that wins? And how the heck did you get 10.4? I am reading these numbers wrong. So guys, scratch everything I just said. The Z06 beats the Superfast. Man, I don't know how I was reading that wrong. Yeah. All right, that's my bad. I'm even more impressed now then. I don't understand how the heck. Good God. This car continues to impress. Matt Hurley's best time of the day was a 10.4.
Jeez.
A 10.4. That car's from GM is rated at what? 10.6? So it's getting 0.2 of a second faster than what GM says the car's even capable of. And that is a totally stock car.
So who was driving that?
It looks like it was Matt. He said he won all 3. I was reading that.
Dude.
I assumed the C8 was on the left because it was in the image. But now looking at it, it was backwards.
Maybe it wasn't all the car. It could have been, the driver mod had a lot to do with it that day, and Matt killed it.
Like I said, everything Matt touches turns to gold, it looks like. So he said he raced the first race, then Brooks ran the second 2 races against my car, or in my car against the Ferrari. So he did the first race.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so Blown 6 Gen, this is a good question. He said, Matt, were you shifting it? And Matt said that it was in full race mode, but auto shift. So if you're going to the drag strip, the best way to make that car, to make any C8 do what you want it to do, is put it in track mode and let it shift on its own. Because in a regular C8, it will shift automatically at 6,499 RPM. You can't do that. You're not able to shift that precisely like the computer can. So let the computer do it, because you will rev out every ounce of power you have available.
Yeah.
If you want to have fun driving it, then yeah, you're using the paddles. But normally, let that thing do its own job. Super chill. Let me see if I can find your question here. I will definitely answer it.
Or maybe you're copy and repaste it.
It's on his. He's talking. It's on his super chat.
Yeah, I got it. Did you get him in there for an entry?
Yes, got him.
All right, so Super Chill says, I've seen many C8 drag races. Would putting a smaller wing help make it faster or no wing at all? So on a drag strip, you want basically as small of a wing down to nothing as possible. The less drag on your car, the faster you'll be. Now, this really depends, though, because if you're talking about like a stock C8, like even the wing that you can see behind Steve down here, that wing creates almost no drag. So taking that off is going to net you next to nothing. But it depends on what kind of wing you have. Because like the big wing on my ZR1, that would negatively affect my drag times to the point where if I took it off, I would see an advantage. So the short answer is yes, a smaller wing down to no wing will make you faster. But a detailed answer is it kind of depends on the car and it depends on the wing. But yeah, Matt Hurley, huge congrats to you for hitting such an amazing time in an awesome car. That's really cool because I think you're maybe the fastest stock. I've seen other cars do faster with drag radials and stuff like that, but I think stock-wise, you might be the fastest number yet. Yeah, Wheeler O'Hara, that's the other one I was going to talk about, is the Farmer C8 Z06. Literally some older guy that's building this car up to be something crazy. He has a Z06 that hit under 10 seconds. Wheeler, if you can, I didn't watch the full video. Is that a fully stock car or does he have anything modified? That's impressive too. So Matt Hurley says that his forged Anarchy wheels are actually slightly heavier than his OEM carbon fiber wheels. So next time he's going to try with the carbon wheels too. So that 10.4 number comes from a slightly heavier set of wheels. Oh, I didn't see a stock one go 10.2. Was that on YouTube or just someone you know? Huh. That's very cool, though. Guys, let's talk real quick about the giveaway one more time. Steve?
Giveaway.
So this is the AMT Custom Designs door sills. Custom painted carbon flash black with torch red accents.
And they will mail out
perfectly
tomorrow. They will mail out tomorrow.
They will mail out tomorrow. The giveaway ends tonight, guys. We are going to run the little spinny wheel of destiny. We're going to run that tonight, and whoever wins, they'll ship out tomorrow. So these will perfectly cover up the door sills on your C8 Corvette, and you have the current ones are stainless steel. These will go right over top of them. You won't even be able to tell that they're not 100% stock. So if you're interested, guys, every $10 donated will get you an entry. The more you donate, the more likely you are to win. And as far as I know, are you able to see how many entries Steven Rapp has, since that seems to be a problem?
He doesn't have the most. Matt Hurley has the most.
Matt Hurley has the most this time. So Steven Rapp seems to win a lot, but he does not even have the most amount of entries at this point.
Don't say that loud.
Yeah. Steven Rapp says, is that ninja sounds?
Yeah, exactly.
It's something. It's something sounds.
I like
Fab Speed Sauce.
I like martial art movies.
Who is this? Who's Matt?
Huh? Oh,
who has
Matt,
the Fab? Huh?
Matt on his Z06 has the Fab Speed exhaust.
He does?
Doesn't he?
I don't know.
No, not that I know of. That's why I asked who's Matt, because Matt Hurley doesn't have an exhaust, I don't think.
I don't think so.
As far as I know, his car is stock outside of the wheels and
yeah,
springs.
it is. He said yes. He's got the Sport Cats and Fab Speed exhaust. Yeah.
Oh, he does. Okay. So it's not It's not 100% stock then. Okay. It makes more sense that his car's putting down times like that than if it's modified at all.
Yeah.
With Sport Cats. That also explains. Did you have that same setup, Matt, whenever you sent us the cold start video? I'm not. I wonder if you had that exhaust at that point. I don't remember you having that. Yeah, the system Street Speed had. I really liked the sound of that. It really sounded good.
You said it was loud.
Oh, it's loud, but it sounded good. It is really loud. I mean, honestly, the stock system is really loud on that Z06.
Mm-hmm. What I love is the Z06 stock is clean. Oh, it's the perfect sound.
I didn't think so. Matt, if you get a chance, give us a new cold start video. That sounds like a good thing to play next Monday night. I would like a new cold start video from Matt, BPR Z06, General Lee, and Larry Anthony if you have the car by then. And Dr. Corvette. Dr. Corvette, if you're still in here, I would love to have a cold start exhaust on all 3 of your Z06s. Here we go. Stephen Rapp, he heard what I was saying. He says, not the number of entries, it's about luck. Exactly. So now he gets 5 more entries. Yeah, Stephen Rapp might just have the best luck out of anybody I've ever met in my life.
You know what? We don't have the Venmo link on top.
It was up there.
I just is there?
I pinned it before we started.
All I see is great news.
Well, yeah.
I got to open it up.
Yeah.
Expand it.
Blown 6 Gen says a cold start montage. I can't think of a better montage than that. Can you?
It sounds like a YouTube video, actually.
That would make a good ringtone.
All right, so we got a $10 Venmo donation from Brandon Bickler. He says it's bribe money. I don't need much money to be bribed, but I'm not sure what we're bribing.
Is that Brandon Bickler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting Brandon B. There you go.
Guys, if you could please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Let us know you're liking the content so we can keep doing this stuff for you. We're trying to bring you the coolest possible giveaways, trying to talk about some of the cooler news and having more interactions than just, a typical live video. We like to build more of a community. So if you guys are liking it, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. It helps bring more people in.
And we got another giveaway next week starting.
Yes, we do. So every week we will be giving something away, and at least once a month we're going to give away a pretty big item. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for those things. Let's talk a little bit about the other piece of information we have to talk about today. And, well, actually, there's 2 more. We already kind of talked about this one, and this is the farmer that he drives a 2023 Z06 and gets into the 9s. He ends up hitting 9.98 seconds at 135 miles per hour. Now, apparently he does this with drag tires, and his second set was a set of stock Michelin tires. So this is pretty crazy. I don't see anything else. I didn't watch this video, but at the same time, I don't see anything in the comments here saying that this car is modified in any way. So if all he's doing is running the drag tires and he's able to hit under 10, that's nuts. So again, guys, over at the midenginecorvetteforum.com, these cars just continue to impress. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, Blown 6 Gen, this is something that cannot be discounted in the slightest. He says, I know we all love the Z06, but I will say I just hit 500 miles this weekend, and I can say the Stingray is no slouch. You're absolutely right. The Z06 is the new hotness, we'll say. But the base C8, the Stingray, is an absolutely fantastic car. It is more car than 99% of the world needs. So in reality, none of us need anything better than or faster than a C8 Stingray. Honestly, that car's too fast for most of us. So absolutely, the C8 Corvette in general, it really is a fantastic platform.
I'll tell you one thing. It's such an easy driving car. You know, I love driving the Z06, the C7 Z06 because it's a manual. And, you know, I control it. I love that rev match sound. You know, I love the car, but for ease, and it's still a lot of fun. And man, going, you know, when you hit a red light, you wait, that light turns green, everybody's always way behind me. It's just so much fun. It's so quick, and it's just such an easy, fun car to drive. There's no question.
Yep. Whenever I had mine, it was almost as easy to just go out, jump in the car, and go to the grocery store in it as it is like my truck. And it, for the most part, your C7 Corvette, it's not that it's difficult. It's just more of a production, it seems, with the C7 to jump in it and head out, which is fine if you're driving it 2 or 3 times a week at the most. But the C8, I could literally see myself daily driving a C8 and not having any problems, any complaints whatsoever with it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times that I've thought about taking the Z06, and I'm like, do I really want to back it out of the garage?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, no.
First world problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And like Mr. T here says that he can't afford $170,000, and most people can't. That's the thing. Is like the Z06 is not for everybody in that aspect, and it doesn't have to be. The C8 Stingray is more than enough. It is an absolutely amazing car. You do not need a Z06 to have a good time in this thing. If I'm coming across that way, please forgive me. That is not what I intended in the slightest. The C8 Corvette is an awesome platform, no matter which version you buy.
You know what? One thing I'll say about this platform is I notice it because I drive maybe once every week to every 2 weeks. Yeah. When I get in the car, I'm very aware that I am forward and that the engine's behind me. I love that. Like the shorter hood, I just feel like I'm closer and totally different between the Stingray or the C7 Stingray. You just become very aware that you're sitting closer to and everything's behind you.
Yeah. So Super Chill says another $10, so he gets another entry. He says, will you be buying a ZORA if it ever basically comes to fruition? I'll be honest, with what I think the ZORA is going to be, I don't think I would get a ZORA. I don't know for sure, but we don't have a lot of concrete specs on that car. And actually, Jason's going to talk about that here in a second. We don't really know a lot about that yet. And until we know concrete facts, it's hard to say yes or no. If that car comes out and it's what I think it's going to be, and it's going to be fully electric and 1,000 horsepower, no, I'm not interested. Now, if it comes out and it's more like what some of the rumors are saying, where some people say it's going to be 1,000 horsepower, but it's going to be a hybrid like the ERAY, I would consider it. And that, again, kind of depends on the price, though, because the price is also rumored to start at $200,000 and go up from there. So a well-equipped one's going to be $250,000 plus $300,000 markup. So you're probably $500,000 before you can get the freaking thing.
$500,000 for it, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So just off the top of my head, based on what I think the car is going to be, I would say no to the ZORA, which is why I really want the Z06, because I think the Z06 is going to be the last internal combustion, naturally aspirated, non-hybrid Corvette we're ever going to see, at least for the foreseeable future. ZORA is definitely going to be 200,000 plus. I mean, you can already get a Z06 at 170.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's see. General Lee says, I love daily driving my Z06. I get to talk to folks at the gas station twice a week. Twice a week. Oh, that's funny.
What mileage is General at right now?
I think he said he was at 1,300.
It says 1637.
Oh, 1637. Yep.
Dude, he is caught up to me. I'm at like 1,600 and something on mine. And our General got his.
Good for you, General. If I had the car, I'd be driving it every freaking day too. I mean, that car is not just a car. That is an accomplishment. Mm-hmm. The way that the world is right now, you have literally done something that 99% of the people out in the rest of the world can't do, even if they had the money to do it. So, yeah, congratulations. You definitely deserve it.
That's for sure.
Okay, so Jason, do you want to talk about
Yes,
your
but
part?
only marginally, because I want to actually talk about something else. But because we pretty much covered the ZORA and the ZR1 in our conversation that we've had up till now. But one thing I do think that's going to be cool, that I had done a video a long time ago about this, and I'm sure you probably did too, is the possibility of basically active aero intelligent. I call it intelligent active aero, where it's scanning the road and your front splitter adjusts accordingly as you're going around a turn and things like that. And they do have patents on that. Same way with the wing, not just, you know, adjusting for downforce, but moving forward and backward. If in fact things like that ever come to fruition, that's going to be really cool. I know there are some cars that have some active, you know, wings and stuff like that, but to me, an active front splitter, that would be insane. I just want one that knows I'm about to hit that you know, something in the road, it like moves.
And the thing is that I actually said, whenever the C8 was still in production, I have a bunch of videos about this. GM actually filed a lot of patents for active aero, and all of their patents showed what looked like a C7 Corvette in the image. And they only did that because nobody had seen a C8 yet, and they didn't want to give away what it was going to look like. But they had patents for active aero on a side skirt, on a front splitter, on a rear spoiler, and on a rear diffuser. So all four of those items could very well be active aero at some point in the C8s. And if I had to guess, why not the ZORA? Because the big thing with active aero, just like Jason was saying, is you don't have to add horsepower to add horsepower. You can, with this active aero, you can get power back without actually adding power to the car. So you could have a 600 horsepower car that would absolutely demolish a 1,000 horsepower car if it has a really good active aero setup. So, yeah. And we did talk a lot about the ZR1 and the ZORA, but mainly
there was that I had read on your community tab, and I can't exactly remember what it was, but it, you know, we talk a lot about the C8, the Stingray, the Z06, the ERAY, but I can't remember, was something about, is there still love for the C8 or the C7? It seems like there is, based off of prices and all that. Man, and I know we kind of briefly touched about this. I absolutely still love the C7. When I see one driving down the street, I absolutely just think it is such a beautiful car. But not only the C7, I still feel that way about the C6. You know, Tim's got the Grand Sport. I absolutely love the C6 Grand Sport. The Z06, because obviously it's always going to be a manual. C5s, I love every generation of Corvette. And if people have things they want to talk about with any of the older generations, I would love us to be able to talk more about those, so we're not so focused on one car. But of course, that's the popular thing right now. So I mean, you know, that's the hot button. But
that's something I tried to talk about. I think it was 2 lives ago now, 2 Monday nights. I want to do the same thing. We're here to talk about Corvettes. We're not here to talk about just the C8. We are here to talk about Corvettes. So if you have a C7, if you have a C6, if you have a C5, it doesn't matter what you have. If you have questions or if you want to join in, don't feel like you have to have a C8. If you send me a picture of your car and it's cool looking, it's going to find its way right up here. It doesn't matter if it's a Z06 or not. If it's a nice car, it's going to find its way right there, and we're going to enjoy it just as much as a C8. So don't feel like you have to have a C8 to partake in any of the chats or anything. Yeah, I mean, Matt Hurley, who has possibly one of the nicest Z06s I've ever seen, he says that he put new wheels on his C6 Z06 this week. Actually, Matt, send me some pictures.
Of course he had one of them. I didn't even know he had that. What else does he have?
Matt, if you get a chance, send me some pictures. I'd love to see it because something tells me it looks freaking awesome. Yeah, so Shane, just so you guys know, Shane's plans with the ERAY, It's going to be his first C8, and then he's probably going to do a National Corvette Museum delivery, but he's planning on driving to PA to meet up with me and do the blackout tinting thing, and possibly some other things if we can get some things lined up. But like I said before, guys, me and Shane we've developed quite a friendship, and this is what I want for all of you guys. Any of the subscribers of the channel, if you really want to hang out sometime, I mean, we can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Paper Tiger's in here. What's up, man? Okay, so we did touch on some of the ZR1 stuff, but I know some of you guys had seen this already, where Car and Driver was talking about an 800 horsepower twin turbo ZR1, and then your 1,000 horsepower ZORA hybrid that could take the C8 Corvette to new heights. Jason and I were kind of talking about this off camera, and this information that Car and Driver gives us, I don't know if you guys have read this before, but this is about once every 6 months, Car and Driver puts out an article like this that's almost identical to this.
Yeah.
It has no real substance. There's no actual factual like citing of these cars or anything. They're just kind of pulling numbers from the original document that was leaked probably almost 4 years ago now, that said the outline of the ZR1 or the C8 variants, where it was going to go from a Stingray. The next one was going to be a Z06, then a Grand Sport, then an ERAY, and then a ZR1, and then a ZORA. And they gave like the horsepower numbers, which almost none of them have been accurate. Mm-hmm. And we never got a Grand Sport. So it's very unlikely that a lot of that stuff is legit. I think someone just kind of, they might have been right about some of the names, but they just kind of threw numbers at paper. And Car and Driver's kind of running with those. So originally the ZR1 was supposed to be either 800 or 850 horsepower, and then the ZORA was going to be 1,000. There's no evidence that either one of those cars is ever going to exist. Now, if I had to put money on one of those two existing, it's the ZORA. I don't, if it comes down to the ZR1 or the ZORA, they're going to name it ZORA. I can almost guarantee that. But maybe we get both. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, that article, me and Jason, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but I almost feel like it's kind of pointless at this point because we've already discussed a lot of this. And there's not a lot of information here that's actually factual. I mean, a lot of this is just speculation.
Let me put it to you this way. This stuff is so old, though. It's some of the same stuff that I put in videos when I did them.
Yeah.
3 years ago, was it? I don't even know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, and the thing is, that was done 3 years ago, but this article was just written 5 days ago.
Exactly.
So they're still pulling information that's 3 or 4 years old to put in an article that they just wrote 5 days ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a bunch of old news regurgitated with new shiny pictures. Like the picture of that, if that actually was what the ZR1 would look like, or this one down here, actually it won't load anymore, but if it actually looked like that, that'd be pretty cool. But if you really drill down into that, all that is a C8R race car painted red. And of course it's not going to look like that. It can't. But yeah, I wanted to touch on that because I had a bunch of you guys send me links to that article. And unfortunately, a lot of this stuff is just, I know I don't like that it's this way, but a lot of people just want you to click on their stuff. And yeah. I speak for all three of us whenever I say we try to stay away from clickbait stuff, but sometimes that's, yeah, Lego actually just said it, Car and Driver's form of clickbait. That's exactly it. They just want you to click on their articles. And it's the same. I've seen this same article reposted 3 different times from them at least.
You know what? I'm going to touch on something. I'm going to offend anybody else who's a YouTuber. I know we've talked about this. I can't stand that stupid comment. First YouTuber to have something.
Yeah.
That is the lamest thing out there. I know we don't do it, but I'll talk. If you are a YouTuber, and I know there's some YouTubers that watch this, stop. It is so stupid. I'm the first YouTuber. Who cares, dude?
Right.
I mean, you look like a moron. We don't use that.
Devarius King says that he has seen the intake manifold for the ZR1. It's definitely coming. This would be a two-parter for me too. I don't doubt that you've seen that. I'm sure you probably have, but that does not mean it's coming. That means that maybe they had plans on it. Maybe they were going to do it. It doesn't mean it's nothing at this point in life, the way the world's going and everything, nothing is definite. They can say, and GM did this. They refiled for the trademark of Grand Sport twice since the C8 Corvette's been out. That does not mean we are ever going to see a C8 Grand Sport. Doesn't mean that we ever will. Just because they're refiling the patents for Active Aero, it doesn't mean that the C8's ever going to get Active Aero. We can speculate that maybe it does, but ultimately maybe they're going to wait until the C9 for that. I have no idea. So the intake manifold you saw could have been for the C8. Maybe it's something they're developing for the C9. Maybe it's something that they tested for 10 seconds and said it's not going to work and throw it in the trash. Who knows? I do believe at one point the leaked document showing the cars that were coming and how much power they were going to have was something that GM had on paper somewhere, but things changed so much. Some of those variants are going to fall off. Some of those variants are going to end up with more power or less power than what's on that paper. None of it's going to be 100%. Ralph Cruz says, how long do you think the C8 will run before the C9 comes out? I've gotten that question a couple times now. I believe the C8 run will go till at least 2030, possibly 2032. GM has a lot of money in the C8 platform. They put a lot of money into developing that platform, so I do not see that platform running for anything less than 10 years. With how highly developed it is, I could see it running for even longer than 10 years. And that would be great because most Corvettes don't run even close to 10 years. The C7, I think, was technically only a 5-6 model year run. Usually 10 is pushing it for a model like this, but at the same time, the C8 has such a beefy architecture, it could work. White hot horsepower. Best guess for what model year there will be a refresh. I don't think there ever is going to be a refresh. I don't even with the C7 generation, we never really got a refresh. There was nothing really massively different about the look of the car. Every now and then they'll add, like they've already done it a couple times. 2021 they added wireless Android Auto and CarPlay. That was nothing major, but it was kind of a refresh, I guess. 22 they added different colors and different sticker packages, and then 23 we had new wheels. So if you're not counting that stuff, I don't think the C8 will ever get a refresh.
I'm really watching Jason smirk.
Yeah,
he's typing something. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna get talked to after off the live. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Justin's gonna spank me.
That's gonna be fun. Hey, I do want to mention something though that I saw that Shane commented about everybody coming out to one of the Vette Syndicate events. When are they coming? I want to make sure everybody knows. April 29th, Texas, Harley-Davidson, Bedford, Texas, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are doing the Corvette takeover again, and this one's going to be a lot of fun like the last one was. We also have a lot of really good ideas for things that we want to do coming up in the future. I know Steve and I they actually have an event coordinator, and she's super nice, Neely. And so we got to meet up with her. We got some really cool things that we think we're going to be doing here before long. But this one's going to be a lot of fun. Food trucks and hopefully a lot of Corvettes.
Giveaways.
Tons. Yeah. So guys, one of the big things about the Vette Syndicate idea here was obviously us three together, planning car events, doing live videos, becoming a bigger part of the Corvette community was what it was all about. So Jason and Steve have been putting on some shows down in Texas, so down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're in that area or even close, I would definitely try to head out to that show because there's going to be giveaways. There's going to be a massive amount of cars. They added almost 200 cars there last time they did a show. It's going to be worth your time. So definitely head out. And as these shows get bigger and bigger, I'm going to start coming down for them as well. So we're all three together because that's the idea. But yeah. Stupid Fast Truck says Protective Dad Pranks is going to be the first YouTuber to complain about YouTubers claiming to be the first. Oh man, I read that a couple times in my head and I didn't realize how funny it was until I said it out loud. Lewis.
Tonight was a good show. It's one of my
Lewis
favorite
LG Z06 says HPO anger management. Man, did I get angry about something? I don't think I did.
But look, did you see this? Chris Kroll, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are leaving. Had opportunity to sit in on a VM Zoom meeting last week, subscription based. That's when I would cancel all my crap. I'm sorry, I'm not paying a monthly fee.
I know, and the thing is Chris, that is actually the second time I've heard that. I read that somewhere else not too long ago, where they want to get rid of that because, like, people are actively not buying a car that has built-in GPS because you don't need it anymore. So you can spend less, get the car for less money, just hook up your phone to it and call it a day. And of course, they don't like that. They want you to use their crappy built-in GPS, which even if you do pay extra for it, it always is never as good as your phone.
Nope.
On the C8,
it says you guys are awesome.
Flawless. On the C8, Apple CarPlay is flawless.
It works flawless on my ZR1 with a little wireless box thing plugged into it. I have no issues with it whatsoever. So guys, I want to mention real quick, we are running out of time here, but our giveaway, it's ending tonight. We're about to draw a winner. If you want last second entries, $10 gets you an entry, and it will make Steve make some more ninja noises. So $10. $10 to the Venmo is preferred, but if you can do super chats, whatever it is, every $10 gets you an entry. Yeah. Look at, actually, let me get it up closer here. Look at the carbon flash metallic flake in that thing.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful.
It is. So guys, we're running very close to the end here. So if you want in, you're gonna have to do it within the next minute, and we are going to draw a winner here very soon. Lego, that is most likely going to be just cars going forward, because I don't see how they could undo it from cars that already have it.
Yeah.
But I've heard there's been a lot of rumors about cars coming out that are going to have subscription-based status stuff. I'm pretty sure BMW already has a car out that you have to pay a subscription to have heated seats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, 100%. I'm a big fan of Apple CarPlay. It literally changes the entire infotainment system, because like in my ZR1, the C7, the infotainment system in my C7 is dated. It's that simple. If I get into my car and my phone automatically picks up Android Auto, it does not feel anywhere near as dated. It feels like I'm in a brand new car. So that's another reason why Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, it has to be a thing, because your car will not feel dated as quickly if your phone is always up to date.
Yeah.
Generally said he saw a fingerprint on there. Did you really let that happen, Steve?
Yeah, because it's not on my car.
Listen to this guy. Switch lanes, I haven't heard. I'm actually going to text Scott over at Scrape Armor, because he was supposed to be, or last time I talked to him, he said that they were just about ready to come out for the C8, the intake grill, the side intakes for the C8, not the Z06. That's still in development. But I'll bring that up to him, and I'll have an answer for you hopefully next Monday night. All right, so I'm going to check Venmo, see if we got anything more in there. We did not. So our entries are our entries, guys. We're shutting down the giveaway machine for tonight. And we're going to have Steve draw a winner here in a second. So you got 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. If you want to give another donation, you got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. If you have not donated by now, Steve is about to draw a winner. Hold on, let me check one more time just to make sure nobody did while I was doing that stupid thing. All right, nobody did. Go ahead.
And raffle.
Oh my
Steve
god!
Robertson.
I thought that was gonna say Steven Rapp. I was gonna freaking die.
You know what's weird though? Steve Robertson didn't have nothing really. He only had 10. He only had
Was
10.
it 10?
He only had 10 total. So
All right. Well, Steve.
Has like
Hurley had 35.
Well, Steve Robertson. I'm not sure if I saw him in here tonight, but
He's not.
he'll probably watch this after the fact. Steve, if you want to send me an email, let me know your shipping address so I can get it to Steve. He'll get these things out for you tomorrow in the mail. And actually, I'm pretty sure Steve Robertson doesn't even have a C8, but we'll find out.
If not, I will not delete this group of people. And if he doesn't want it, then we'll do it the very first opening of next week.
Yeah, there we go. So guys, it's possible we might still have these tomorrow or next week, but we'll let you know after I hear back from Steve. When I started to see the name come up STE, I was like, no, come on. Because I always make the mistake of saying something about Steven Rapp winning a bunch of stuff right before he wins something, and then it just looks bad. Congrats, Steve. All right, so I think we're all done for tonight, then, guys. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. White Hot says draw an alternate now. Let's go ahead and do that. If Shane or if Steve doesn't want it, this will be the alternate.
Oh, sure. Put pressure back on me.
Yep. Hurry up. Everybody's looking at you.
Okay, here we go. Here's to be the alternate. And raffle. It better not be him again. It is.
It's him again.
Jeez.
Wow.
Okay.
Matt Hurley. All right.
There you go.
Well,
One of those two.
I was going to say, Matt Hurley could definitely use it. I know he has a C8, obviously. So, all right. So if Steve Robertson doesn't take it, Matt Hurley gets it.
There you go.
All right, guys.
Good.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Congratulations to Steve Robertson. Let us know what you want to do, because worst case scenario goes to Matt Hurley. Either way, it's going to a good home. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We will catch you guys next Monday night, same time, same place. Bring your questions. Bring your C8, C7, C6, whatever Corvette you have. Bring your questions next Monday night. I want to talk Corvette. It does not have to be C8. And please send me your pictures, guys. If you have awesome Corvette pictures, whatever generation, it doesn't matter. Send them to my email and to Vette Syndicate on Instagram. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week.